Welcome to another episode of Goober. Do you like goodwill or perhaps ventriloquist dummies? Well, if you do, then you'll find this next tale to be quite spooky.
I work at the Goodwill. I've worked here for about 2 years now, and it's an okay job. The only thing I would say that isn't really okay about this job is sifting through all these nasty ass clothes. Let me give you an example. Sometimes we get streaky, shit-stained underwear, and we put it out for sale. Now, I can't imagine anybody in their right mind wanting to buy this streaky underwear. We should just throw it away. But my supervisor says we gotta put it out there for sale. Nobody buys it. It's sat here for years. Which blows my mind. Because who in their right mind is gonna come in here and say, "Oh my God, honey, look. It's a pair of streaky underwear. Just exactly what I needed." You know who does sell streaky underwear? Paris, Illinois Goodwill. Yeah, they do. Go look, you might find a pair. At least they did back in 2004. So twack your ass on down to the Goodwill in Paris, Illinois. Used to be a Dollar General in that building. Now it's a Goodwill that probably still sells streaky underwear. But I digress greatly from this story. I'm going to take another sip of coffee while I tell this story. Delicious good coffee. So this story really gets interesting on the day I found a ventriloquist dummy. It looked like it was probably from like 1950, 1960. I said, wow, what an interesting find. My boss came up and said, well, you can go ahead and take it home if you want. We're not going to be able to sell this thing. We got to make room for all this shit-stained underwear, so go ahead and take it on home. And I did. Maybe I could throw it on eBay, or maybe I could put it on some other website. Get it appraised. Maybe it's a collector's item. I went out to my car and put it in the passenger seat. I went back in and had the rest of my day at work. How about another sip of coffee? Wonderful, delicious coffee. I finished the rest of my shift at work. Then at 5 p.m. prompt, I went out to my car, started up, and began to drive home. That's when the dummy's head turned and looked right at me. I started screaming like a little girl, like shrieking even, because, that's just the kind of man I am. The dummy then started to talk. Invest. What? Invest in the stock market. Okay, you want me to go invest in the stock market? Yes. Well, I'm not really into all that investing stuff, so I don't think I'm going to do it. If you do not invest your money into the stock market, I will take your soul. Well, that didn't sound very good. I wanted to keep my soul, so I guess I was going to give in to this ventriloquist dummy's demands and invest in the stock market. Okay, cool. Well, how do I do that? I didn't know. Download an app on your phone. Okay, I guess that settles that. As soon as we got home, I took the ventriloquist dummy in my house and set him on a chair adjacent from my couch. I then downloaded an E-Trade app so I could start selling some stocks. But first I had to buy them before I could sell them. Okay, well, I don't really know what I should invest in, so I guess I'm going to get on the computer and I'm going to do my best to interpret how to get started investing in the stock market. No. Invest in Jag X. Jag X? Yes. J A G X. I punch in exactly what the dummy said for me to do into my phone, and sure enough, there was stock for a Jag X. They're called Jaguar something, Incorporated, I do believe. And they were based somewhere in California, and they sold Well, some kind of diarrhea medication for livestock, it looked like. It was trading pretty low. I'm talking like 20 cents maybe. I said, hey, is this a good idea? I don't know anything about this stock. Invest your savings account now. So I did. I invested all $10,000 I had saved up from selling streaky underwear at the Goodwill into it. Now go to bed, the dummy said. But it's 6:30 p.m. I said, hit the hay. Fine, I said. So I got on my pajamas and I tucked myself in the bed. Was laying down by 7 p.m. This is some real bullshit, I thought. First I got this dummy telling me to invest my money into the stock market or he's going to take my soul. Now he's telling me to go to bed at 7. I could hear the TV on in the other room. Looks like he got up and started watching TV. It was Cheers from what it sounded like. The older episodes too, when they still had Coach as the bartender, before that other guy came on. Woody Harrelson's character plays him. I can't think of the guy's name. But Coach is the best character in Cheers. And I don't care what you think about that. If you got a problem with that, well, you're a wiener. Flat out, plain and simple. I'm going to take another sip of coffee here. It's a wonderful cup of coffee there. So anyway, I finally drifted off to sleep, and I woke up the next morning. And when I went out to the living room, there was the dummy, and it looked like he brought over a couple prostitutes because they were laying dead on the floor. There was also a lot of liquor bottles lying around too. Aristocrat vodka. Not a very good choice, I must say. So the dummy was sitting there, and I said, hey, what is the deal with these hookers? Check. Stock, he said. I had to step over a couple of the corpses because, they're in the way of my computer. So I got onto the computer, and I got on E-Trade, and I looked. And the stock had dropped to 2 cents. We had lost a lot of money. Sell, he said. Whoa, hey, hang on there, man. I don't know much about this stock, but we just lost a lot of money. Like, I put $10,000 in this when it was 20 cents, and now it's down to 2 cents. Like, this company's probably about ready to fold if its stock is trading at 2 cents per share. This wasn't a very good stock to invest in. Sell, he said, or your soul is mine. All right, fine. So I sold. What do we do now? I said. Maybe we take these prostitutes, and by we, I mean you, take them outside and maybe get rid of them. Maybe, cover up the evidence. Buy stock, he said. Well, we took a big hit with that one, so we better rebound on this next one. What do you think? Buy Netflix. Well, see, here's the problem with that, guy. We lost a lot of money in this last one, and I can only afford a couple more shares now of Netflix because it's trading at a very high price. Buy Netflix. So I did. I put the rest of the money into some Netflix stock, and it trades very high, so I can only afford a couple shares after the loss. Alright, now what do I do? Go to bed. I just got up, and it's 10 a.m. Now, I'm not going to go lay in bed all day just while you go out and kill more prostitutes and drink more vodka. And besides, I got to go to work, so I'm going to do that. Yes. Get out of here. Leave me $200, he said. So I left him $200 and went to work. And I tell you, we got truckloads of poop-stained underwear in work. I didn't like it very much. So I spent the rest of the day putting all this underwear out for sale that no one was going to buy, except for people in Paris, Illinois, obviously, because that's the Goodwill that sells them more than we do. Seriously, go take a look. You might find a pair. I know this was back in 2004 when this was occurring, but maybe you will. It's on Main Street. Can't miss it. Just, look it up on your Google map and you can find the Goodwill there, and you can walk in there and see if they're selling poop-stained underwear. Take a look. Do it. Come on, do it. Dip. Dip, dick butt, dip butt. Yeah, you. Okay, well anyway, back to the story. It's wonderful coffee. So I spent a long day at work, and then I came home, and there was the dummy in there. And I'll be damned, there was more prostitutes. I was like, damn, man. This is getting crazy. First off, there's the 2 dead ones still there, and now you got 3 live ones here and more vodka. Is this what you spent my $200 on? Yes. Check. Stock, he said. Okay, fine. So I got on there, and the Netflix stock had tanked. It went from a couple $100 all the way down to $2. This coffee's quite wonderful. Okay, great. Now, I really don't have any money, but how did you make this stock tank? Check. Yahoo. So I got on yahoo.com, and sure enough, there was a news article, and there was my living room featured on the front page of this news article. Netflix stock investor caught with prostitutes, dead and alive. Obvious drinking problem. Damn, I thought. How are you able to take some average guy like myself who just happened to invest in Netflix stock and make the stock tank with this bogus news story? Fake news. Smart. Well, obviously, you give some really bad stock advice. I'm kind of tired of all this, so I want all you prostitutes to leave, and I'm going to throw you away. No. Take Soul. Take me to Burger King. Get me Whopper Junior. No, I don't think I'm going to do that, so I picked the dummy up. He was screaming about taking my soul and stuff, but, I decided to go ahead and ignore that because, obviously, I was going to be in a lot of trouble, and I was going to have to explain these prostitutes that were deceased to the law enforcement officers. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of this dummy. So I took him to the neighbor's trash can and opened it up and threw him in there. Take soul, I could hear him say inside the trash can. But I just decided to go ahead and ignore that. And I went back in, and I took the prostitutes, and I threw them out in the front lawn, because I really don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. So that's what I did. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know, my soul never departed. Geez, this dummy was a real sham. All he did was, get prostitutes, drink vodka, and give me bad stock advice. And I was gullible enough to listen to him. But hey, I guess if you're a guy like me, and you work at a Goodwill that loves to sell poop-stained underwear, especially like the one in Paris, Illinois on Main Street, then, yeah, I guess I'm a gullible fool. Well, that's really about it for that story. I don't know whatever happened to that dummy. Supposedly, he got online after he was able to escape that trash can and sold himself on Craigslist for $50. Still bankrupting people with bad stock advice if they're dumb enough to follow him. But, hey, that's how it goes sometime. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get to my job. We've got a lot of poop-stained underwear to sell today. Thank you, bitches.